by David L. Dreyer, illustrated by Long Darren. Witnessing the birth of a new age, an excited crowd of 130,000 gathered outside the Palace of Versailles, just outside Paris, France, on the afternoon of September 19, 1783. They had come out to see the flight of this large hot air balloon built by two brothers. This was the moment of truth for Joseph Michael and Jacques-Étienne Montgolfier. The King and Queen of France watched from the palace courtyard. The beautiful silk and paper balloon was decorated with gold design on blue background. There was tension in the air. Three animals waited in the wider baskets suspended beneath the balloon. The unusual passengers were a sheep, a rooster, and a duck. These animals have been chosen as part of the scientific experiment. No one was sure what would happen to people who went up in a balloon. Since ducks often fly in the air, the brother thought the duck would be fine. The rooster was included because it was also a bird, but the one that didn't fly very high. The sheep was thought to be similar to a person, since it was a mammal that lived on the ground. The brothers were anxious to learn that these animals could go up in a balloon and come down unharmed. A montgolfier from a burning pit. Shortly after 1 p.m., the balloon was released. As the crowd looked in wonder, it rose to the height of about 460 meters. 8 minutes later, it settled back to Earth 3.2 kilometers away, and the animals were justified. The height of flight, a long dream of humanity, had finally dawned. The way was now clear for people to fly in the clouds, and the Montgolfier deserved much of the credit. Two brothers with big ideas. The Montgolfier brothers were part of a large family from a small town in southern France. Their father, Pierre Montgolfier, was a successful paper manufacturer. His factory was official supplies of the stationery to the court of the king, Louis XVI. Joseph and Etienne took over the family business in the 1770s. The successful business left them plenty of free time to pursue other interests. In his early 40s, Joseph became intrigued with the possibility of flight. Since the 1600s, scientists have been exploring the possibility of making a lighter than aircraft would do fly because of the principle of buoyancy. No one had yet figured out how to build such a vehicle, however. Buoyancy was the first understood by the ancient Greek mathematician Archimedes. It involves the density of an object, its weight for a given volume, compared with that of a fluid around it. Fluid in this sense means either a liquid or gas. If the density of an object is less than the fluid surrounding, the object will experience an upward force. A cork floats because the density is less than water. A balloon filled with hot air rises because the heated air in the balloon is less than the surrounding air. An object with a density greater than the fluid in which it is immersed will sink. Joseph suspected that a light gas contained within a lightweight enclosure makes the flight possible. He read about such a gas that several past researchers had reported from their experiments. Scientists have known this mysterious gas for many years. In 1766, English chemist Henry Cavendish identified the gas such as element. He gave it the name inflammable air. because it was highly explosive. French chemist Antonio Lavoisier renamed it hydrogen. Joseph filled small paper spheres with hydrogen and released them, but his experiments were disappointing. The sphere rose just a few meters from coming back down. Hydrogen atoms are so small that they pass right through the paper into the surrounding air. Joseph looked for another way to build a flying machine. One day, he noticed that shot drawing over a murky fire pulled upward. Like most people, he had often seen smoke rising from chimney. This, he concluded, the ether smoke. In 1783, modern fires began burning a different material, see that which one produced less smoke. They found a mixture of wood and straw dropped up the work best. It also smelled terrible, but the smoke did give buoyancy to any sort of light container. The brother concluded that smoke must contain something unknown with a liquid property. They named a smellless substance Morgan fire gas. Of course, there was no such substance. The liquid effect was caused by the hot air itself. When air gets heated, the molecules within it move around faster, causing the air to expand and become less dense. When contained with a balloon, the lighter air makes the balloon rise. Constructing smoke-powered balloon without understanding the real science behind. To build a test tube balloon, the brother experiments by using material for the envelope, including silk, paper, and lining, as their work of moving forward. They also increased the size of their balloon. The balloon rose ever higher into the air. The brothers' experiment began to attract attention. A crowd filled the town square of a village in the southern France on June 4, 1783, for the test of a large balloon made of cloth lined with paper. The crowd watched in amazement as the unoccupied balloon soared some 2,000 meters into the sky. After 10 minutes flight, the balloon landed about 2 kilometers away. Successful test flights such as this one launched a balloon craze in France. A balloon rivalry. The Montgolfier brothers asked the French Academy of Science to officially recognize their work. The Academy held approval. However, it decided to wait in case someone else invented a better balloon. The Montgolfier's chief rival was a physicist named Jacques Charles, who proposed building a hydrogen balloon. The Montgolfiers had long since given only hydrogen in favor of their hot air balloons, but Charles saw great possibility in this approach. In July 1783, with the Academy's approval, Charles began work on his balloon. He was assisted by two brothers, Nicholas Louis and Eugene Robert, both professional engineers. The three constructed a small test balloon to make a silk with a rubberized surface designed to keep the hydrogen from escaping. In the meantime, King Louis invited the Montgolfier to Paris. He wanted them to build a dancing balloon that would display his glory to all of France. As a court favorite, the brothers now received government funding for their work. The two dreams each wanted to be the first launch balloon with human passengers. The race was on. Soaring into the blue, on August 27, 1783, a large crowd gathered at a grassy area in Paris where Eiffel Tower now stands. They had to come to witness the launch of the Charles balloon. Among the onlookers was a famous African, Benjamin Franklin, who was serving as U.S. ambassador to France. The balloon was relatively small, about 4 meters in diameter, with alternating red and white stripes. In the late afternoon, the unpiloted balloon was released. It rose quickly and flew northeast for less than an hour, landing about 15 kilometers away in a small village. Terrified villagers attacked the strange monster from the heaven with a pitchfork. It was now to turn Mongol fires to turn wild bloodies. On September 19, they launched the test balloon with an animal passenger at Versailles. When the animal landed safely, the time for a human trial was finally at hand. Since the flight would be very dangerous, the king felt it should be done by a peer prisoner who had been sentenced to death. However, a science teacher, Jean-François Pilote de Bruxelles, and a soldier, Marquis de Andelys, volunteered. Their historic flight took place on November 21, this time from the outskirts of Paris. The balloon towered 23 meters high. It was covered with various golden designs in honor of the king and royal family. With Desrosiers and the Marquis aboard, the balloon drove into the air. 20 minutes later, it landed about 8 kilometers away, settling between a pair of windmills around the city. The two men were hailed as heroes. Benjamin Franklin observed in the historic flight, asked by another spectator what this balloon was good for. He reportedly answered, "What good is a newborn baby?" On December 1st, just 10 days after Mongova's triumph, Jacques Charles and Nicholas Robert made the first human ascent in the high Russian balloon, taking off in the Tuileries Garden in Paris. They flew for about more than 2 hours, coming down in a town about 36 kilometers away. In the following year, the Montgolfiers launched several more balloons. Their brothers were honored by the French Academy of Sciences, and their father, Pierre, was made by a nobleman by King Louis. The legacy of lighter than air flight, the passion for ballooning now spreading throughout Europe. It was not long, however, before the risk involved became clear. In June 1785, Desrosiers and his co-pilot, Pierre Roman, were killed while attempting to fly across the English Channel in the balloon. Despite the risk, pioneers continued to develop balloon design long after the balloon craze of the late 1700s and ended in the 1800s. Lighter than the air, vehicles were driven at random and were flying passengers back and forth across the Atlantic Ocean. The golden age of airship ended abruptly when the German airship Hindenburg caught fire and crashed while landing in New Jersey in 1937. Today, airships are mostly used for advertising and can often be seen flying above open-air stadiums during large sporting events. Gas balloons are mostly used for gathering weather data, while hot air balloons are mostly used for recreation. Many areas hold festivals each year in which hundreds of colorful hot air balloons fill the sky. This event can make it appear as though balloon mania ever ended.
perfect score.